cannot hear you.
Can't hear her.
How's that?
Yay, there we go.
Excellent. So, can you flip the screen? Oh, there we go. Oh, the other way.
We can hear you.
Okay. We were just fixing the screen on my end.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry that I missed you last week when you were here at the Capitol. I got tied up in a negotiation session that went a little long, and when I came to find you, I hoofed all over the Capitol campus and couldn't find the right classroom. There was a lot of kids there that day, so I apologize. How did it go?
That's okay. It was good. We were able to meet both of our representatives and Tim Sheldon also. So Drew Bowen and Dan Griffey met with all of our groups.
Great. I had checked in with them to see if they would. I tried really hard to get the sponsor of the bill, Representative Stambaugh, to meet with you, and she could do it at 8:30 in the morning or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I told her that you wouldn't still be there by, but she appreciated all the emails that the classroom sent. That was very helpful.
So where we're at with this bill since we last talked to you is we watched the House vote. McEwen's office had called us and said that they were going to vote on it. It was on a Friday at about 2 o'clock. So we watched the full House vote. We watched the testimony during that House vote. And so we know that our bill cleared the House and it's over in the Senate.
Stop.
And so we'd kind of like to know next steps for our bill. But when looking at it too, we noticed that there's a companion bill in the Senate that seems to be moving along too. And so any advice you could give us, because it looks like we could be looking at the companion bill that passed the Senate but is over in the House. So
let me pull that up real quick.
Anything you can do to kind of help us with the process and what we could do next, because our little bill has not died yet.
No, it hasn't. It's doing very well. It actually, so the House Bill 1333 had a hearing last week on the 14th. It's too bad it wasn't on the 15th because you guys could have gone and watched it. But I was, again, tied up in another hearing, but one of the other Capitol classroom teachers or lobbyists testified on behalf of the bill. I would recommend, if you have time, watching the hearing. It was very good. And so for that bill, I think the next steps are to start emailing the members of the committee and ask them to, you do the same thing you did last time, and it's just the committee members. There's only 6 of them or 5 of them. So there's not as many as over in the House, but send an email to them telling them that you support the bill and ask them to bring it up for a vote in executive session and to vote yes. Another thing that would be helpful is if any of you already know what university you may want to go to, it would be helpful for you to go on their website and find out what tuition costs are per credit and put in your email. It shows them that you're engaged in doing a little bit of research. Like, for example, you're considering going to Western Washington University, and if this bill passes, it could save you this amount of money in terms of tuition that would make it very important for you to be able to attend college. Does that make sense? Do I see heads nodding?
Yes.
Okay. So let's look first at the members of that committee so that you know who to write to, and then we'll shift over to the companion bill. So I'm just taking a minute here. Could you pull up the committee members for the Senate Higher Ed Committee? So we're just pulling up a list of the legislative committees for higher ed. And then you go up to the top corner for committees, members, and staff. So, oops, sorry, I made a mistake here. So your committee members The chair is Senator Linda Wilson. The vice chair is Senator Barbara Bailey. The ranking minority member is Senator Guy Palumbo. And then also on the committee is Senator Michael Baumgartner and Senator David Frocht. So I would recommend that you divide them up and send as many emails as you can with the little bit of research that I'm asking you to do. That shouldn't take you very long.
You repeat those?
What was that?
You repeat the names?
Repeat the names? Sure. Senator Linda Wilson. Okay, so you guys can see them. They're up there. We'll just leave them up for a minute while you write them down.
They're not up on the screen.
Oh, they're not showing.
No, we're not showing here.
Okay. Down?
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so write them down.
Let me zoom in.
And then I'm going to go back to the bill and look at the companion. Excellent.
Okay, mine helps you to be taking notes for your pause break for the week. And especially with eligibility for sports starting Monday.
So this is really good. So the bill, the companion bill, which is Senate Bill 5234.
Rhonda, would you mind asking if they could make it larger?
Yeah. I'm trying.
Okay.
Uh-oh. We're having some technical difficulties. I'll email them to you. Can you see them better now?
No.
That's okay. Well, we can also look it up when we get back to the classroom.
Okay. All right, great. Okay, no worries. Let's just, okay, there we go. Okay, so so the Senate bill, which is Senate Bill 5234, had a hearing on the 15th, and I wish I would have been paying attention because you could have, no, it wasn't until 1:30, so you would have missed it anyway. But it's scheduled March 22nd, that's tomorrow, in the Higher Education Committee for executive session, which means they're going to vote on it. So let's email those same members on the members on the House Committee as well, and I'll send you a link to that, or you could look it up when you get back. But email them again with what we talked about to do in the Senate. Tell them that it's coming up for a vote tomorrow, and ask them for a yes vote. And it needs to be done before 1:30 because that's when they're going into hearing to vote on the bill. So this is good. We've got two of them moving. That's good news.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions so far about where we're at on the bill, or any questions in general? You guys always have questions. What do you mean no questions?
I do. How much farther do we have to go for the bill to get passed?
Well, so both bills are headed, one bill is scheduled for executive session, that's the Senate bill, and that's scheduled in the House. So since House Bill 1333 went through with a pretty good vote, I think we can expect that bill to go through as well. The Senate bill still needs to be scheduled in the committee. And then after it goes from committee, remember, it goes to the full Senate and to the full House for a vote. And that could happen within the next couple of weeks. you know, I'll keep you posted on when that's happening, because we'll have to gear up the emailing again, and it could happen pretty quick, and it might happen before we have our next connection. So I'll have to be contacting you all so that you know what to do. But we could get it to the governor's desk by early April.
Okay, thank you.
Close your legs.
So there was a Central Washington University professor that testified against the bill during the full House vote. He kept on saying that you should trust the colleges and stuff, the universities, and trust them, but you wouldn't affect the students, but it would only affect them.
That was, I believe, Representative Manweller.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty adamantly opposed to this bill. And, you know, with almost every bill, you have one or two members that just have philosophical differences with the rest to fill the need to state what those differences are. I don't think we could change his mind, but it wouldn't, if you have time, I mean, it might be worth sending him an email or two talking about what tuition cost at Central Washington University, if any of you are considering attending there, and how this would affect you going attending college and getting through in a quicker time, and just see what he has to say back.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Lindsay, you have a-
answered my question.
No one has any questions that came up during your tour of the Capitol?
Does anyone want to tell us what we did on there?
Oh, it's really.
You want to tell her what we did on the tour?
I was wondering, on an estimate, how much did each room cost? As in like the decorations and the rugs and.
You know, gosh, I just watched a floor session on this in the Senate. It was the Capitol's birthday a few weeks ago. And I believe, and I'm going to have to look this up, this is subject to check, but I believe that they built it for something like $10 million, which is amazingly cheap. It costs less than your school to build. But I don't know about the decorations. I could try to do a little research on that for you and find out. I'll go ask one of the ladies that run the tour groups. They might know.
Because I figured like with the statues that they had or the marble on the walls, that'd be few.
I think the marble walls came with the same cost of the Capitol. I will tell you that many of you might not have been during the Nisqually earthquake several years ago. What year was that? Do you know? Yeah, in 2001, when the Nisqually earthquake happened, the dome shifted on the top of the Capitol building, and they had to move out and retrofit all three buildings that you went through, and a lot of the marble got damaged in the earthquake, and that cost more than the original structure cost to build, to retrofit the Capitol to make it safe for earthquake safety.
Okay, thank you.
$120 million.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, hey, I just wanted to clarify again for the kids, that you know about what exactly, so by this Friday, is that a committee?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. That's what, I didn't answer the question very well. Yes, the bill would have to move out of committee by Friday.
By Friday, and is that, it was, just to clarify, was that's in the House, right?
In both, it needs to move out of both bills need to move by Friday.
By Friday, okay.
And so the Senate bill is scheduled for tomorrow to be voted on in the House. I feel pretty confident, and to be voted out of House committee. So it has to be out of committee by Friday.
Okay.
And that, go ahead.
So if we have been tracking that House Bill 1333 real closely, if it's over in the Senate and it's in the higher ed committee meeting, those senators have already heard that bill, the companion bill, and they already voted on it once and sent it out. And so
Right.
part of our email, could it be to remind them that they have already heard the bill or heard a bill like it? And
Yeah. Absolutely. Remind them that they heard the companion bill. Make sure to mention it by bill number, and then tell them that they're voting on the House version of the bill tomorrow and ask them for a yes vote.
Okay, when they've already voted yes, we're just asking them to vote yes again.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, exactly. And I can send you, the vote counts are here, but I can send them to you as well so that you know who voted yes and who voted no. It never hurts to try to hit those no votes one more time.
so if you could email that to me, then I could project it up on the screen.
Yeah, I'll do it before I leave here today.
Okay, and what we did in my class before the House vote, we had written the names down of the people you told us to email. And so we were sending them emails, and then the kids, once they sent an email, they'd go up and put a tally next to the person's name to make sure. And if we've had like 4 and one would only have 3, then we would go and email that person.
That's a really smart way to do it. That's exactly how lobbyists do it when we're working in
Oh,
groups.
it is, okay. And so my other thing I wanted to ask you about is the House vote on our bill. It was like, it was like 51 to, do you know what the final vote was?
No, it voted out. Oh, wait, sorry. Let me look. I can pull that up right now. We're looking at the companion now, the 1333. It voted out 56 yeses, 41 nos.
Okay, so 56 yes, 41 no. Are you guys writing that down?
Yeah.
That was the final House vote. 56 yes, 41 no.
And one was absent.
Okay, and my question is, how many, I think you may have told us this before, and I should know, but I forget. How many Democrats and Republicans are in the House? So I'm wondering how many Republicans voted on our bill. Because by looking at the numbers, I think some Republicans had to have voted on our bill.
Yeah, they absolutely did. So,
Okay.
yeah, that doesn't say what party they're from. Yeah, Stamba, you know, what's interesting, I'm looking at the vote count right now. What's really interesting is that the sponsor of the bill is a Republican, and you have a pretty good bipartisan mix here. Mostly Democrats voted yes for the bill, but I see a handful of Republicans in there. I could send you. I will send you a list of who's a Republican and who's a Democrat that voted.
I was wondering even, I don't know if we can get the specific about age, or did the younger Republicans vote on it? Because
I see.
when we heard Stamba talk about it, she talked about the AP classes she had taken. And so, you know, she's not that, that old that she's taken AP classes.
I'm looking at some of the youngest members of the caucus or of the House voted yes for it.
That's what I was thinking too.
I'll try to. I'll send you a little analysis of it. I'm going to have a little time this morning when we're done taping.
Okay.
But what's interesting about the way that passing legislation works is sometimes when either the Republicans or the Democrats, so either one of the parties, which we call them caucuses. So when one of the caucuses decides that they want the vote to pass, but they don't want to send it over with an overwhelming vote, when they caucus as a group, they'll decide how many votes to send over to make sure that it passes, but they'll hold some back for politics. It's all about politics.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we definitely have a to-do list between now and Friday.
Yeah.
And the last list of remember you called off some names of important people. Chop, I noticed you wanted us to send emails to Chop,
Yes,
and he voted yes for the bill, I think.
he did vote yes for the bill.
Yeah, and so he was the one that you really thought that we should, you know, not ignore him. So
Yeah, you can't ignore leadership. So remember where we're at right now. We don't need it. We only need to email the committee members because we need them to vote on it by Friday. So for the Senate committee, they're voting tomorrow at 1:30. So you need to get your emails out to them before 1:30 tomorrow so that you can weigh in. And
So,
those are the Senate committees. For the House committees,
Senate Higher Ed.
for the House committees, you're going to want to get those out as soon as possible, but they're not quite as urgent because they're not scheduled for a vote yet. But it needs to get out by Friday, so you are going to want to email those House committees, and I will send you a list of who to email on both of those committees. And then next week, we'll need to start concentrating on, like we did last week, or last time when they were voting in the House. We'll focus on members that are not just on the committee, but leadership and other what we call key influentials that I'll be asking you to contact. Did you guys make phone calls as well, or did you just do email?
Just email.
just email, yeah.
That's good because they track those really well. So good work. Anything else you have for me?
Someone want to tell me thanks? This is our last time connecting with you.
Thank you for providing us with this information.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You guys were a lot of fun.
Have a good day.
Fingers crossed we get the bill to the governor's desk. Oh, you go ahead. Do you have a question? Okay.
Oh, I think he was just stretching.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, me too.
All right. Thank you.
Excuse me.